Hi guys, right back here. Today we're going to be doing an overview, slightly different to the usual going over replicas, and we're actually going to go over my Milsim fighting order. I'm going to preface this with this is very opinion based and through my personal experiences of doing Milsim and other things I've done throughout my time playing airsoft. It's going to be broken down into a few parts, starting off with heads and protection, plate carrier, belt setup, miscellaneous. Miscellaneous will be broken down to what you put in your cargo pockets, what you can put in your sleeves, and any miscellaneous spare bits of equipment and where I would put it or why I would have it. So the first thing we're going to go over is your headgear. Headgear, face protection, eye protection, all that good stuff. The kind of more important side of the game. So in terms of headgear, Bullurgan, which is the main Milsim site in Ireland, I know that Simtac and FRV do Milsims as well, but Bullurgan are the only ones that I've been to, bar the mini Milsims in Blackridge, RIP Blackridge. So Bullurgan's rules, they have it more so set up so you don't have to go out and buy a new set of uniforms or BDUs. They do it off headgear. So the main headgears that they have, which would be berets, watch caps or beanies. I recommend getting a watch cap because it's a bit easier to have on. Boonie caps, my favourite, and finally the Larperator Hardcore helmet. This is an FMA Ops Core replica, the BJ. I've just put the elastic and my headlamp on it, and my Contour Room 3. So your uniform regulations, so to speak, are very strict on what headgear you have. So depending on what side you've picked, your headgear could be, you have to wear a boonie. So, €10 boonie. Could be another one, which is your beanies. They're generally the SF rules, or if a UN have kind of like their Black Ops stuff. With a watch cap, the big thing is to have it folded up, so it's actually a watch cap. I just have the one fold on mine, and I wear it kind of fairly towards the back. Keeps my ears warm, but it goes all the way. It is quite a long cap. So it's also a very light piece of kit. Sucks in the summer because your head will be baking. Berets is another one. This is just a plain black beret. I would recommend, with berets, a big one is don't wear a specific military unit ones. So, bottle green, if you're from Ireland and you know anything about the Defence Forces, don't wear a bottle green beret. Don't wear surplus berets, so even the old FCA ones, the PDF ones, don't wear the cap badge, stuff like that. This is a plain black beret I've had for a number of years. I've shaved it, so it actually fits my head properly and it looks semi-alright. It's been shaved and everything like that. Again, this doesn't have any badge on it. This doesn't denote any military unit. So it gets you in less trouble with people thinking you're a Walter. Another one is helmets. Now with helmets, they are heavier, you do tend to sweat a bit more, but there is, in my opinion, I prefer to wear boonies and helmets over anything else. Baseball caps, for whatever reason, they tend to give me a bit of a headache. So my helmet is set up in kind of a 2008 Army Ranger setup, US Army Ranger, with the headlamp over the left side for if I'm doing navigation. It just has a red light on it. Red flashing, low white, high white, flashing white, and off. So I have that set up in such a way that I can use it at day and sometimes at night because I don't use night vision. Boonies, in my opinion, is by far the best. It's the lightest, keeps the sun out of your face, and you can kind of mold it a bit to your preference. So that's kind of your headgear. Your face protection is an important one as well. I will generally wear a revision softwise with a amber lens or a clear lens. I preface the amber lens. I've been using it now for 5 years and I kind of find it a bit funny using any other lens. Face protection is something I keep on me, so in my left cargo pocket I will have my mesh mask. This is an ASG copy of the One Tiger's mesh mask with the padding on the side. I just keep that folded up in my left cargo pocket because I will less than likely go down on my left knee. So that's your head and face protection. I'd recommend getting eye protection that is comfortable for you, and face protection that's comfortable for you that you can wear for long periods of time. This is my plate carrier setup. It's an LBX Armistice 2. It's in the vein of a JPC style plate carrier. I have an entire dedicated video to that. We'll go over how I would carry everything at a Milsim. So my front panel is a Spirit System micro rig, and in it I have a triple Spirit System elastic insert. I have 2 magazines facing with a left hand reload, one facing with a right hand. In front of that I have a single Spirit Systems elastic M4 mag holder, and then underneath the flap I have a double pistol mag pouch that I can use for my KCO2 mags or my WE Gen 4 G17 mags. On my left hand cummerbund we have my little mini 20 round magazine. That fits perfectly in my Viper elastic cummerbund. Further on from that I have a power bank. This is an Energizer power bank. I think it's a 2500 mAh. Charges my phone twice. I have the cable in a box in the backpack that I will go over now in a second. On the left hand side of my cummerbund I only have one thing, which is my tourniquet. Right, easy to come out. I have this prepped and set up by a guy I've shown him work, so that way my arm can go in and all I have to do is pull it and I can adjust it. So it's a fairly simple way. If you guys want to know how I have my tourniquet set up, I will do a video on it. But you can put this on one-handed and just pull it and have the windlass if you actually need to, because this is an actual CAT, Combat Applications tourniquet. I have it prepped as well, so that way it has I have no drug allergies and my blood type on it. So I just have that on the right side. Fairly simply set up. In my admin panel I will have a pen light, a notebook and pen, and that's it on the top portion here. It's zippered open, zippered close. I don't have them in at the minute, but that is the front setup and the side setup. In the rear, in the main portion of my Panda Tac on my Temu minimap, I have 500ml of water. This is just I got this water bottle in Tesco. I'll keep that in my backpack because I prefer it to Camelbacks. And then beside that is a tin of gas. Very hard things in my back, but I do have foam plates, so it doesn't make it uncomfortable. The reason why I would have gas and water is water you need to hydrate, and gas in case I don't get to go back to the fob but I get to reload and replenish my ammunition on the fly. I need to fill up my gas mags. In the smaller pocket we have a little toolkit. Alright, I just have Allen keys, flathead screwdrivers, silicone grease, a knife, and the Allen key to my end pass in case I'm shooting hot. I've got spot rounds and I'm shooting hot. In this hard case I will have my contour camera. I have a little Panda Tac sticker on it. So what would I have in here? I have a standard USB cable, I have a micro power bank, and I have 2 spare SD cards, and they're big SD card holders so that way I don't lose them. I keep those in a hard case with my contour camera if it's not on my helmet. So that's my rear panel. There's not a lot going on in it because I don't want to weigh myself down with everything in the kitchen sink, but to be able to be effective in some way, shape or form to my squad or my section. Further on from there, in my little Viper dangler, all I have in it is a cloth, microfiber cloth, for cleaning things and drying things off. I have a little bag of batteries, so I have AA's, AAA's and 123A's in this for all of my optics, and a spare speed loader with the gas blowback attachment on it. So that is my plate carrier. It is very simply set up. In the fob I will have set up, well not set up, I will have a rucksack, a small rucksack with my food, more water and my warm gear. that will be in the miscellaneous section of this video. So a big thing when I'm wearing my plate carrier as well, especially at Milsims, is I have my collar. This is called the Mandarin collar. I will have it zipped up the full way to stop my weapon sling from rubbing my neck. Same thing with my plate carrier. It is hotter. It is a lot hotter, but I've come back from Milsims with abrasion on the back of my neck from my sling because I was being stupid. So I have the Mandarin collar set up on my plate when I have my plate carrier on. You can wear chest rigs as well. Personally, I don't really wear chest rigs all that much. I just find with whatever way my posture, my back and my hip, I find chest rigs uncomfortable. I find I have a major pain in my lower back when I use a chest rig. They're a lot lighter, they're a lot cooler, and they can be very mission specific, which is great because you can just carry bullets and food and have your water in a backpack. But that's a big thing as well, is choosing between a plate carrier or a chest rig. Personally, I prefer plate carriers. It's just so I can even out the weight a bit more, and you know, I kind of just prefer having everything in kind of a stable platform. So that's my plate carrier. We'll go on to my belt setup then now. So now you'll have a great view of my junk. With my belt, it doesn't really change from skirmish days to Milsims. Currently I have no magazines or anything in it. My pistol is currently 86th, so I'm looking to source a new one. So we'll go from the left side. I have my 2 IPSC Kydex style pistol mags, my pistol mag holders. At a Milsim, I will generally only have one in there, just for ammunition and just kind of being lighter, because I find having 2 of them plus the 1 spare mag here quite heavy, especially on my left side. So I'll generally have one. I'll keep that there, and if I pick up another speed loader or I take the magazine out of my pistol for whatever reason, I can store them there. Further on, I have my Kydex M4 mag pouch that I spray painted CAD pat. Very simple, just having my quick reaction mag there so I can pull it out. Or if I take the magazine out of my rifle, if the village I'm in or if I'm role playing and they want you to disarm, it's easier just to plop the magazine in there. I've added a dump pouch. I don't normally use them, but they are handy for putting things in like rubbish. I actually have my gloves in here for the purpose of the video, which are just Mechanics CW insulated. They're grand gloves, they're nice and warm. I haven't had a chance to break them in, just with being away with work. So I have my dump pouch, I can put things in it. I don't have the elastic in it, so I wouldn't put magazines in here, but if I did, I can just close it over. It's just it's an Invader Gear 1 in khaki. To the rear, this little back pouch, this is actually a pouch for goggles. If I had my goggles, I currently need new lenses for them. So I'd have them in here, just, you know, in out of the way in case I need to swap out my eyebrow. Here is the pouch for my multi-tool, for my Leatherman mutt. It's a great tool to have. It has a knife and a number of screwdrivers, pincers, carbon scrapers, everything like that. It is the perfect infantryman's tool. Unfortunately, I am a chef, not an infantryman. So, and then just further on from that is this is actually a Helicon replica of a Black Hawk holster. I do have a Dirty Customs G17 holster on the way, a custom Kydex one, and I'll be doing a review of that when I finally get that. So my belt is a 2-part design, so it's an outer belt with an inner Velcro belt. If I wanted to or I needed to, I can put the belt and keep the plate carrier on. If I'm going for a longer patrol, it's going to be more recce orientated. So that is my belt setup. It's very simple, no frills, no thrills, just straight up bullets and tools. That's all I really have on my belt. We're going to go into the miscellaneous kit and the placement of miscellaneous kit. So the biggest thing for a Milsim is 1 is none, 2 is 1. What do I mean by 1 is none, 2 is 1? Having 1 of something, if it breaks, you have none. If you have 2 of something and it breaks or it goes missing, you at least have a spare. So one of the big things that I picked up recently was a 511. It's a 20 litre backpack. I picked this up for work, but actually it's been very handy for administration in the field. So, very simple bag. It's, you know, not the most discreet looking, but it fits in with the Ranger green kit. So in this bag, at the moment, presently, I don't have a full Milsim setup yet, which would have my MREs and everything, but more water. This is a 1.5 litre Quechua bottle. It's metal. This has survived nearly a year of abuse of playing airsoft and doing other things. A fleece for when it gets cold. I would take this off and I'd put the fleece on under this and then put this back on, because obviously I don't really like mixing and matching, and in case there are uniform rules, it's better to have your uniform in regulation than not. I mean, they'll give you some leeway with your headgear, but it's kind of, as well, if there's like a militia group and you're wearing like green and black and a multi-cam plate carrier, it'll be hard to distinguish. A spare dry flow. This is just an olive green regatta dry flow. I'm wearing underneath here a grey and blue, and I find these kind of dry flow workout shirts to be a lot more comfortable than wearing a cotton t-shirt. So that's just personal preference. As well in my bag, I would have my mess tins, I would have my cooking utensils, my stove, and 2 MREs and 2 main meals. In the backpack of my Timu Minimap, JMR Minimap, Timu JMR Minimap, I would have 1 main meal and 1 dessert as well. In my left cargo pocket, I would have my face protection, and I would have stuff like a bag of jellies. In my right hand pocket, I wouldn't really have much because I'll tend to go down on my right knee more than my left knee. So I would try to keep that clear. In the 2 dip pockets of the Invader Gear Gen 3s I have, in the left I will have my wallet. I don't want to leave it in the fob or anything. And then in the right one I will have my phone, which, biggest piece of advice I can give, I have an OtterBox phone case, is have your phone case facing out so you don't get a BB impact. I'll have my phone because generally I don't really use radios, so it's like the spare battery packs. Keep all the juices phone. That's kind of miscellaneous kit. There's not a lot because this is, you know, the fighting order. You should be able to go out and do patrols, be light enough but be able to sustain yourself. I'd recommend protein bars as well to have on your person, but the only issue with eating a lot of protein is it actually dehydrates you further. So you kind of have to play swings and roundabouts with that. Is right, I can have a protein bar and dried fruit or something like that to keep your sugar levels up, keep everything up. Make sure you keep hydrated. That is a big thing that I see a lot of guys going out with. Painkillers, but those painkillers are only for your use, nobody else's. That's a big one. What else? Like a lot of the miscellaneous bits are comfort bits as well. Like if I don't want to bring my stove, I can eat my MREs cold, but I have to have my eating utensils with me. One major really kit I'm going to tell people to bring in there to the kit they're going to bring to the fob is a gash bag or a black bag, a black refuse sack for your waste, because with Belergan they're an active farm, so littering is like a no-no. So keeping all your rubbish and stuff with you, and then, you know, when you're done with it, you can just tie a knot in it and put it into the main bins. So this isn't oxygen or longitude where you can just dump everything afterwards. So that is kind of this is an in-depth overview, but it's also not, because we could go into loads of nuances of kit and everything that we talk to you for an hour about. We don't want that. So in conclusion, this is my fighting order. You know, make sure your headgear is in regulations. Make sure you're not trying to impersonate any military organizations or say that you're in the military when you're not. I've come across a few guys like that, and like, you're just kind of like, you fucking Walter. Make sure you have eye and face protection. Spare eye protection, anti-fog as well, or godsend. Face protection, is kind of, it's a good thing to have, especially if you're going into close quarters. I don't want to lose a tooth, so if it's getting fairly close, I can take off my headgear, or I can put it on over my headgear. When you're getting shot at, there's no real issue in not looking cool. My plate carrier is mainly sustainment in all senses, all shapes and forms. So sustainment in the firefight, sustainment of my body, which is more important, food and water, and sustainment of phone chargers, batteries, toolkit, stuff like that. I would generally keep paracord in as well, but I don't have any currently. On my belt kit is made for murder. That is kind of my philosophy on having a belt kit. It is made for one purpose only, and that is returning fire. It is airsoft. We're shooting 6mm toy BBs, but I digress. Murder belt. Then in my miscellaneous stuff is more sustainment, so food, warm gear, water, cooking and eating utensils, stuff like that, spare t-shirts and warm gear. A good trick as well, if it's cold at night and you have a watch cap, right, I generally buy my boonies 2 sizes up, so 2 centimeters bigger than my head normally is you can wear your watch cap and then you can bring your boonie down over it. It sits a little bit higher, it's a little bit more uncomfortable, but it'll keep your head warm and it'll keep the rain from dripping down as well. I'd only recommend that for at night. So I would also have one of these in my cargo pockets. I'd probably put it in the right hand pocket because it's soft. That's really it. Gloves is a big one. I just have insulated gloves. So in conclusion, that is my Milsim fighting order. It's a little bit more than a skirmish game. In a skirmish game, I'm literally just carrying BBs, gas, magazines and water. I wouldn't even bring food onto the field because you can eat in the breaks and stuff. My kit is all interchangeable as well. If I'm going on a longer recce mission, I can take off my belt so I have a bit more mobility. Or if we're going to be spending a lot of time in the fob, I can take off my plate carrier. I still have a magazine and my pistol on my belt. So that way if we do get into a firefight, I have enough ammunition to sustain myself until I can get to my plate carrier. So that's really it. Milsim is more about sustainment and comfort than actual playing airsoft. There's a whole philosophy behind it. So that's a big one. So that's been me. Thank you for watching. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comment section below, leave a like, all that stuff. I'm happy with open discussion. If you guys like this video, let me know. I can continue on with packing your Bergen, packing your all that sort of kit. I can continue this on, even down to specific weapon platforms and how to use your different weapon platforms. But until next time, I've been Ryback. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again.